What's up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Brianna, and I am back with another video. So in this video, I am going to be talking about what God has shown me about how we are to walk into like this new thing. He showed me that he's opening doors, closing doors, removing people, replacing people, just completely embracing us and like swiftly moving us into these new callings and just new beginnings. So I'm excited, and he gave me this download. I didn't know what it meant at first until I looked it up, and it is called trauma projection. So trauma projection is when we project what has happened in our past to what is happening now or what will happen in the future. And when we're projecting it, it's kind of like, I feel like it's like a kite. Like there's a string of negative thoughts, disbelief, doubts, shame, guilt, fear, all of these things that tug along with it. And so, with that being said, I wanted to go over what trauma projection looks like, and so that we can kind of get through it in this season. We can cleanse ourselves of it, ask God to heal us, and then we can move forward with like a bigger faith and a foundation in trusting what God has for us. So trauma projection, it follows us into unfamiliar spaces. So when we're taking leaps of faith, when we're going into new things, when we're getting a new job, a new relationship, a new house, a new whatever, we're challenging ourselves to meet higher heights. That's when trauma projection will follow us if it is not healed and if it's not surrendered. So with that, a lot of the time when God calls us to things, that's exactly what it is. It's the uncertain. It's the not really knowing what the next step is. And so it's really important for us to heal this so we can move with confidence, boldness, and courage into what God has called us to. So I wrote down a few ways that trauma projection shows up. The first way is not trusting God. So we don't trust him because what happened to us back then, we're afraid will happen again in some other form. We just think that it will just continue to show up. The second thing is we put him in a box. So we allot God a certain amount of space, and we're like, you can work here and that's it. Don't touch nothing else. Don't do nothing. It's like being at the store with the kid. Nope, don't touch it. Stay right there. So we only give God an inch when he really wants a mile. When we put God in a box, it gives us this false sense of control. And that is what so many trauma victims want, is they want to feel control. Because at some point when the trauma happened, they didn't have control. So we put God in a box when we're not healed, and we feel like we can control what he has access to and what he can disappoint us in. Because again, we're projecting. And that leads actually to the next one, is that we're waiting for the other shoe to drop. So always thinking that when good things happen, it's not going to last for long. And we also shrink. We try to hide our light when we're called to put our light on a stand and let the world see it. We try to hide it. And then expecting and meditating on the worst possible outcome. How many of y'all will sit there, make up a conversation, an argument, a fight? You think that you know what happened from A to Z, and you got 3 reasons why and proof, and nothing has even like occurred. Or you're on your way to an event and you've already convinced yourself that this person isn't gonna like you and they're gonna act funny and this and that and that. Like, that is projecting. That is us trying to control the situation so we can go in ready. That's also fight or flight, actually, when you think about it. But we're not here to talk about that one. We are here for the trauma projection, because we have to let this sense of us being able to control what we think will happen in the future so that we don't hurt ourselves. But in reality, we're really holding ourselves back. We're not letting God wow us and amaze us. So if we can just trust God. Literally, I'd say that all the time throughout the day. I trust you, God. And really it happens after thoughts come up of me not trusting him. Because I have to just release it. I trust you, God, and I am safe. Those are my 2 mantras that I'm loving right now. I am safe and I trust you, God. Because if I feel safe, I know that everything is going to be okay and that the best will come. when the trauma happened, we were innocent. And that is why a lot of the "it's not your fault, you didn't deserve that," that's why that tends to be the response, because it wasn't your fault. It wasn't any of our faults when our trauma happened. And so we tend to put up walls and guard ourselves because we feel like if that happened to me when it wasn't my fault, like if the enemy was coming after me when I didn't do anything, what is he going to do when I step out and I show my light? And that's a true fear. You think if he attacked me back then, now that I'm starting to know myself, he's going to come even harder. And I'm just here to remind you that God's got you. Even when the enemy comes, you're going to be so strong and so just embraced by God. Nothing in hell will be able to stop you. And I promise you that nothing in hell will be able to stop you. You'll be able to speak things off of you, pray things out of your presence. You'll be able to do all of that because you have the authority. Now it's just time to learn how to walk in it and fully embrace it and use it. Execute. That's what I'm hearing for you guys. Execute your authority. So with this, that's everything I have for this one. But I just want you to be able to recognize when you're projecting, and also give yourself a mantra for when you project. And then lastly, find out what you want your powers to expand in this season. What do you want to get good at? Talking spirits out of your presence, trusting God. Whatever it is, I ask you to seek God, open your heart up to him, and allow him to show you how to navigate that. I love you guys. I hope this blessed you, and I will see you next Wednesday. Bye, guys.